Hi, this is Mariana, trainer and technical documentation developer at In-House Solutions. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to take advantage of the mask settings in the chaining options to make the wireframe chaining process easier. The mask settings in the chaining options allow you to filter the selection based on the entity type, the color of the entities, or entities that are on a given level. An entity mask excludes from chaining all entities except the entity types you want to select. For example, I am going to select only the points. I am going to use the window selection in the wireframe chaining, make a window around the geometry, and sketch the point where I want to start. You can notice that all the points are selected and nothing else. To chain the color brown chain, not using partial chain, in the options I'm going to enable color mask. You do not need to only select the color brown from the color mask dialog box. All you need to do is to select with the selection method that you prefer one entity of the chain that is brown. You can notice that all the entities that have the same color with the entity that you selected and can form a chain, with other words, are in this chaining tolerance, were automatically selected. You don't need to specify the color unless you want to select multiple chains that have the same color using window selection. In this case, I'm just selecting color 4, and I'm going to use window selection, make a big window around the geometry, sketch an approximated starting point, and notice how all the chains with the color brown, number 4, have been automatically selected. Similar, if you want to select just the dark color blue, just make sure that only this color is enabled in the color mask. Make a window around the geometry, sketch the point where you want to start it, and all the entities that have the same color with the one that you selected in the color mask dialog box will be selected. If you just want to select the top chain of the color blue chain, enable the C-plane and use the chaining selection method and select one entity of the chain. In this example, I'm going to take advantage of the level mask. If you notice, I have the chain that I want to select on level 1 and all the branches on level 2. If I'm just selecting the chain with both levels enabled, I will have to guide the chain due to the branches. With the level mask enabled, I will exclude from the chaining all the entities except the entities that are on the level that I want to select. Notice that just the chain that resides on level 1 had been selected. I'm going to enable color mask and the color brown. And I'm going to show you the difference between closed chains and open chains being enabled. If I just enable closed chains, the color mask that I set will be applied just to the closed chains. I'm going to use the window selection again and a sketch point. Notice that just the closed chain was selected. If I choose, instead of closed chains, open chains, and repeat the selection, only the open chains will be selected. The last option in the mask area is section angle, and by default it's set up to 30 degrees. With the full chaining method turned on, if I just select this entity, the chain is going to stop right there because it encounters an angle between this last entity of the chain and the next entity of the chain that exceeds the 30 degrees angle. This concludes the video on how to use the mask settings from the chaining options to make the wireframe chaining process easier. Thank you for watching.